We're going to, because I'm
Not
explaining that
this
to him now,
very
like,
second. I'm about
hey,
to start the Davos team
also,
meeting. You're
like-
gonna be around at 3.
DR
Okay.
Hornets, their
Okay, go.
best home is called the Cali, the model, right? The Cali in Davenport is the same price as the Cali in DeBerry. So I have now options for people, and I'm telling my buyers, like, you didn't realize that they build the same model around, and it's the same, like, what if I find you a deal? It's the same price up here, but it's more expensive over here. Like, you probably need a realtor to represent you to let you know what neighborhoods,
Right.
and like, they might take. the
Hello,
this
hello.
one is available in 2.
Hi.
Hey, they should have a realtor represent you, right?
Right.
And that's how we
Well,
get buyer
we'll
brokers.
see if we can. I feel like I should do like some shit like this.
Do you want to put it up here since we're all facing this way? And then this?
But then I'd have to sit over there. Now I'm like confused because then I'm like, okay, well, most people are here. Like, who are we waiting on?
Lexi, Jason,
Oh yeah.
Wendell.
Oh, yeah, BB and Brandon are coming in now.
um,
All right, who's seen Windows military cut?
Wendell's not gonna
did.
make it. He said to record it.
We got a freshie,
You
man.
did. I wonder
I saw
why.
him running up to all this, like he has somewhere to be.
Oh, Raquel.
Did we get that bowling schedule?
I texted Zach and I was like, hey, so 2 things. 1, can I have my fucking video, please? 2, Davos wants to do another like social because we haven't done one in a while, and it'd be really cool to have home first and you can, have your team come by. And he's like, hey, okay, and okay. I was like, yay, cool. So then I'm gonna text him
See, that's why you always
today.
gotta frame it right. That's why I try to tell you.
And then I'm gonna text him and be like, hey, so I need to know how many people, here's the price range, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm kind of from there.
Now you understand how to do this thing.
Here you go. You don't want to see the whole room?
Oh, word.
Go to the inside, walk in for this thing.
Other than that, yeah, I got them on both sides. So, all right. We're gonna try to set up so you guys can see everybody who's here live, man. You're missing out, man. We got the whole crew here, guys. Come on. Jason, you're so serious. God damn, man.
Yo, I like it. Hold on, though. That's the
He always has an age before.
Yeah.
I wanna
That
go
color's
Jason
coming.
Derulo.
Let me see that. Is HD.
It's so funny because Jason looks serious and then his wife is like the complete opposite.
You can hear you.
Yeah, no, he's so cool.
Okay, we got the
Or you can put it behind you or put it on top of that sign, like it flips.
Yeah, it's long, so you want to flip it also.
Put it on the board.
It is.
oh, it's this thing. You don't actually have to see the people here. This was just a preference. Hmm. We're gonna get better at this. This is like only our second live meeting anyway. But it's good to get guys. You guys are out. You guys are-
All good, man.
All right, well, let's get it started. It's 2:04. You know how we do this thing. Yeah, we've got Brandon, Jason, and BB on Zoom. Yeah, man. Brandon's in the house.
Did he
Brandon,
have the
man, welcome
ultra?
back.
Is that what he was doing?
No, he was doing his 45-hour post life.
Yeah, I had to do my 45-hour post.
Why we turning the camera for?
I don't know. I feel like it was just.
It was
looking
just
at
on
me.
Phoenix's head. Yeah, I was gonna say something. It's only her.
Who wants to get it started?
Blessings.
Go ahead, BB. I thought you like your eyes kind of moving around a little bit.
I was thinking of what my blessing could potentially be. I actually do have a really big one. I am at this moment right now, I am debt free. Like, I mean, I have a car payment. I probably owe less than like 10 grand on my car. So that doesn't count. But like credit card wise and everything wise, I am debt free. So that makes me feel very good.
I like that. Nobody likes debt. That's awesome. What else? Anything?
Um, Not really. I feel guilty that I didn't really hit the phones as hard as I should have last week. My kid was on spring break. But I've been having some meaningful conversation with the people that I have connected with in the portal. So I feel good. I feel like when my deals start coming in, they're gonna pile up, which I'm ready for.
Well, I like that. Put that, manifest that into the universe. I like that. Good stuff.
That's what I got.
All right.
I got a non-real estate related one.
I feel like I'm starting to move the camera around.
Last Saturday, I came to downtown with some friends and somebody broke my window in my car. But my window's fixed and tinted now, so I don't have to drive with that broken window. So that's a blessing.
Okay.
Because the next day, I mean, it was pouring outside, so the whole inside of my car we got rained on.
It's tough.
You don't realize sometimes you appreciate a window until you don't have it.
I like that.
My voice, though.
Good stuff. Annie, what you got?
Okay, so
I like this. I'm just gonna start going around the room. with the camera. This is big.
mine, I don't know, Bobby, you'll probably have noticed, my calls are like super shitty, but since Cabo, I have been working on myself a lot, like my mental health. I feel like after hearing from Raul, and I didn't do the whole Tony Robbins CPW, but day one in itself was super impactful. So I've been taking the last like week and a half to just really work on my mental health. And I feel like that has changed, and I do feel like it's made a difference.
Okay.
I even see like in my calls, the little calls I have made, like for example, even 2 weeks ago, I would make like 30 to 50 calls and I would maybe get one person. The other day I woke up and I was like, I want to make calls today. And I called 12 and I got 6 people to answer.
Holy.
So it was like, just like that mind shift, I feel like has been such a blessing. And Lorena is another blessing. She started posting more on her social media. And one of the things that she posted, I think it was yesterday or the day before, her morning routine. So what she does in the morning is it's like 5 things that she's grateful for, and she switches it every day. It's not Gil and her kids. So she thinks like outside of the box as to what her gratitude would be, and it's even like small things. And then she does 10 goals, which she writes every day. So she manifests 10 goals. And then the last thing that she does is 5 I ams. So I tried that this morning, and I'm gonna try it, consistently and see how it goes. But yeah, real estate wise, I will say I only have one pending. That shit's being difficult, but I really haven't done much. I feel like if I work on my mental health first, and kind of get to where I would like to be mentally, I feel like that's gonna make such a big change, and it's all due to honestly going to Cabo.
That's awesome. Nice.
It was like, his social media has been so fire.
Oh, no, he's not on. He couldn't make it today. Well, he finally, we've all made a commitment, to start that process. He's actually, paying Emilio and Hannah to really do that stuff. So they're there with him filming, and they're doing content and batching content. So, it's like you film a ton of stuff and then you plan out the whole month, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you can stay consistent with that kind of stuff. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm not ready to hire Hannah and Emilio just quite yet, but I am working on a team. People get, I don't necessarily need a professional cameraman all the time, but like for certain events, hey, I'm going to be speaking, come catch me at, this and that, and just keep getting the really strong stuff. And I think that obviously I fought that for a long time, but none of us can fight this shit anymore. Like it's just a high return on effort if you're doing it for the right reasons, right? Like if and that's I think the tough part is what's the message that you want to be putting out there. I remember talking to you initially, like, hey, you got really stylish photos, but what's the message? Like why would people reach out to you, right? Besides telling you look fly, right? So that's important. But out of curiosity, can you elaborate on the mental block that you were kind of trying to work through, or is that like super personal?
I honestly don't know what it is, because I was thinking about it, like growing up, I had everything that I wanted. my parents are together, so like I'm not a child of like divorced parents and like just
She's like, I don't got a
trauma.
shit story to like
Yeah,
that I have to
I
overcome.
I really don't. So like I'm sitting back and that honestly that makes me even more depressed. Like I have no reason to be depressed. Why the fuck am I depressed? Like,
Right.
I truly can't think of why. But my brother goes through the same thing. I know my mom is depressed. I know she's kind of had like a little bit of, I don't know if it's like hereditary type of thing, but I truly don't know why I have that mental
Mm.
block and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Right.
But even if I feel like if I can't figure it out, at least I'm working towards bettering myself.
Right.
And maybe eventually I'll figure it out.
Oh, well, if you keep working, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I've thought something very like I'm the same way. Like I don't have like I can't. I mean, everybody's gone through some tough things, but like I've met a lot of people who've gone through tough things. Like, and you're like, I'm like, dude, I'm not even on that scale. Like close to what they're doing. And obviously that can go two ways, right? That can really debilitate somebody, or if they fight through it, they can be a rock star, right? So I've fought through that before too, where I felt like, man, there's no reason why, whatever. But I think this book that I've been reading, The Gap and the Gain, like I realized that what happens is that we are judging ourselves based on an ideal that isn't real, right? And we're doing it all the time. Like, and now if you read this book, The Gap and the Gain, it's like you're either going to be in the gap or in the gain. There's no middle ground. You're either feeling like you're lacking, like you're not getting the things you want in life, or you're not achieving the things you want, or you're in the gain and you're giving yourself credit for the progress, right? And so you can't be you gotta look backwards to look at the record. You can't look like, okay, well, it didn't look like what I thought it would look like here. You have to actually look back and say, well, what's been happening? Well, in the past month, let's talk about our blessings. Well, you just went to Cabo and had a life-changing thing. You ever been to Cabo before? That's a gain, right? You met some incredible people at this place, and then elevated your mindset. You saw Raul and actually thought to yourself, I want to start a routine. Were you even working on a routine before you started? Okay, you're in the gain, right? You're noticing Lorena's had a thing, like if you actually work backwards and say, how did I start this month? How did I start the last 60 days and 90 days? What have I done since I got to Alliance? What have I done since I got through Davos? And I've been doing that actually myself, guys. I've been actually writing, just not for anybody, just for myself, like accomplishments literally since I was a child, like things that I've done. So I can remind myself like, yo, wait, hold on one second. Because I do the same damn thing to myself. It's like this undercurrent that's just running, and we don't notice it, but we got to attack it, right? We got to say, hold on. What's really real? Well, all these ideals of the way we think things should be, that's just a made up thing. That's an expectation. That's an ideal. That's not a real thing. But let's look at all this progress, right? And so when you start staying in that gain, then you don't get that depression anymore. Like, because, he was even saying that, like, the people that actually like, are depressed or commit suicide or whatever, they're the achievers. They aren't the losers. They're actually the ones that are doing the most.
Tony Robbins said that.
Right. Like the biggest failure is to achieve everything you want and still be unfulfilled. And like I'm starting to get it. I'm like that, achieve everything I want, but I've been going through something, kind of similar in the past. It's like, man, why am I so restless? Like something's going on with me. But I want to figure it out. Like, I'm like, I know things aren't going bad, but why do I feel like they are?
Yeah. I feel
right?
like I'm not getting anywhere, but like now that you're saying, like, think back since you got to the Alliance, since you're on Davos, since I even moved back to Central Florida, like I've done really, really well.
That's right.
But it's like
you can't even be happy for it, right?
Yeah, like why do I feel like
that's because you're in a gap. You're not giving yourself credit for the gains, and then you can be in the gain all the time, like everything, like. His window was a gain. Hey, you know what? That's what his blessing was. He turned a window into a gain. Yeah. And that's really what the book talks about. It's like, dude, you're either winning or learning. There's no loss unless you decide that there is one. You can recreate whatever your past experience was into whatever you want it to be. It's yours. Your past is your past. So good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff happening. Devin.
I would say I replaced a pending with a pending. Because I had to cancel one. So my blessing is the fact that quick turnaround, because I would have had no pendings, and my last sale was in January. So I've been writing tons of offers with some other people, so I've gotten better at how to communicate that, but just staying alive in this market, and it took to be headstrong and to make that happen. But
nice.
Also, these two watched a live negotiation for a roof, so I got a credit for a roof on a house. So
Yeah. 45.
we got 6,500.
Oh, okay,
No.
okay. We got some new arrivals here going on here. Go ahead, find a seat.
Yeah, home that we kept losing offers on, finally won a winnable home, 250,000, and the roof is old, and $10,000 is a quote for a roof, and we got 6,500.
Nice.
So it was a win there. He's gonna give
I mean,
you
that's a super big win because in this market to get
Yeah.
money back, that's
And he was
awesome.
gonna pull money out of his retirement for clothing costs, and this kind of eliminates that. So he has that money, so it's a huge win for him on all different levels.
Huge, man.
So,
A McChicken?
okay.
What?
Bobby got me to the Citrus Club meal and he made me McChicken.
He asked us yesterday, because after the negotiations, he was like, how much do you think I should negotiate for? And Yondell was like, 7,000. And I asked questions, and then I was like, 6,000. And he was like, but my buyers are 4,500. And we're like, nah. That was like, ask for 7, and then you can get to like 5 or
Yeah.
6, and then you'd be good. And he was like, they're okay with 45. So when he said 65.
Oh, no, because if you
like,
start at 45, you're gonna get 35.
I'm telling it differently. That was the low end, like worst case scenario. I wasn't gonna ask 45, but that's worst case scenario. But yeah, so little small wins throughout. And then a blessing from last night. Like I've been spending a whole lot of time here. I just don't like being home. Like no money's made at home, and all my energy comes from the amount of people that are around me. It also comes with distractions, but also like the energy's here as more people pull up. Like I get real unmotivated or tired after a couple hours just by myself. Like
Right.
I need to see some other action. So I was here planning to leave somewhere around 9, and Lingo comes in late at night, and we were here till 11:30 last night.
Oh, dope.
And so we went through a whole bunch of stuff, like talking about similarities, things like that. So,
That's
like,
that's
another
awesome.
blessing of just recognizing that, man, being here,
Proximity is
that's what I've
power.
been doing, and just random people who come in. Deontay's been here till 10 p.m. the last couple nights. So Deontay sometimes doesn't even come in till 7. We'll be out doing stuff. So like I'm getting extra hours.
Yeah.
And
The soldiers, man, the soldiers. I mean, I can tell you right now that when I first started here, that was me. I was the first one in, last one out, you know, and I'm like, dude, I don't have a choice. Like I gotta survive. Like there's not, you know, it's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. But then you see who the soldiers are, because you see who stays, right? So after 5, after 6, who's still here, all that kind of stuff. And then you kind of, you know, you build those bonds with those, like, dude, you're fighting the good fight, just like me, man. That's freaking awesome. So I'll give you guys, so we're doing blessings. I might as well go around the whole room. Since we're here, but since you just got here, think of your blessing. And then I'm gonna turn it back to Phoenix because
I was not prepared for this.
we're talking about you just after
I
you
know, I know.
should have started with you.
I was listening so intently to this. I really can't think of one honestly, but I've been working out more, going to the gym.
It's a
I
blessing.
lost a few pounds, so that's good. And hopefully I can keep that up. I feel like I have to talk directly to the camera, but
No, you could look over there. or whatever.
okay, yeah, but that's it.
Okay, so you're getting your fitness. What spurred you back into the gym?
Just gaining weight over quarantine, stuff like that. So I
You
just
can't blame
wanted
the
to-
quarantine anymore.
I know. It's been over for a while, but
That was the 2020. I don't know if you realize that.
I guess there's no real reason. But you know, that's something
No, I'm
to
saying what
say.
kicked you back in to the game.
I don't know, just wanting to do better, be healthier for myself. You
Yeah.
know.
Are you enjoying it, or are you still trying to learn to enjoy it?
Oh no, I enjoy it now. Yeah.
Nice. I like this. All right, Omar.
You know?
Sorry.
Well, I would say blessing. I did open house this weekend.
Okay.
It went like really good, I guess.
Okay.
It's 'cause
Sounded
I-
really sure about
Yeah,
that, buddy.
I did 2 open houses. I did one in Lake Note. I did both in Lake Note actually.
Smart.
So I had 2 different ones. So I had like a group thing. So I had one at one house and then one at the other house. And then we were just sending people to ours and people to other ones. So it kind of went good because we had like people rotating.
Yeah.
And I built traction, and I guess I got like 2 people I'm in contact with
Yeah.
that are potential buyers, I guess.
Nice.
And
Stop guessing, man. You
I'm
got you.
sorry.
Those are potential buyers. Like
potential buyers. So I'll say that's a blessing.
that's a huge blessing.
Because I'm starting to learn more about open houses. It's my 3rd week doing this.
Now, am I correct? Am I correct that you got your first pending last week?
I didn't get my first penny.
You didn't.
I didn't.
You thought you
I
did.
was like in a battle between somebody else. Negotiation. I was top 2. And then out of some, they just chose other one.
Condo hotel, the condo hotel?
Yeah, the condo hotel.
The one for 315.
Yeah, so they were.
Because I saw it on my list because I have a VA like scrubbing the list. So you must have uploaded into SkySlope then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it went to 315.
So you thought you had it.
I thought I had it because they went no appraisal contingency, no inspection, 2-day escrow.
So you just called it early and started your SkySlope?
Yeah, I thought I had it because look.
He manifested, he tried to.
I like the,
manifest.
no, that ain't nothing wrong with that kid.
It's because the listing agent was like, look, it was 319, so they didn't want to go 319 listing price. And I convinced them 319 the day the other guys went up. Because they went up 319, they were at like 310, they went 319. And I convinced my buyers 319. And it was like competition between us two and another ones, they were relevant. And nowhere the guys put $10,000 more. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, we're out.
So, but I'm doing another offer for them now for the same what's up.
Nice. And this was somebody from Sync?
Yeah,
From the-
see.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, you were gonna be part of my blessings. I mean, because I thought you had a pending, but it's okay. That one you should have been like, I guess I have a pending. Yeah, that one. But dude, 3 weeks, man. I mean, you're out there, doing double open houses with people rotating from house to house. You got 2 potential buyers out of that, and you almost have a pending. You write up an offer, man. Let's give them a little hand for getting after it and getting after it early, man. That's big stuff, man. I mean, you can contribute to blessings since if you want to contribute to some blessings. So we do blessings at the beginning of every meeting.
Okay.
You're not official on the team. You're just sitting in.
But, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, I guess a blessing I would have kind of relates to like working overtime kind of thing, because I used to have a full time. And then I'd come here, and then I try not to leave too late. If anything, I go to another cafe, and then kind of like work. And I mean, they got good happy hours, so why not? But I was actually leaving the cafe, and then I actually had like one headphone in, kind of like skating back to the car. And then the dude was kind of like calling at me, and I was wondering like I mean, typically I kind of like ignore it since it's downtown. But I guess he was going to the DMV and he needed to pay something off and he needed cash. He bought a credit card, he couldn't use it for whatever reason. So I let him approach. I was talking to him and he told me his situation. So he cashed out me like $300. We went down to the Publix, went to the ATM, just gave him some money, and the whole way, like on the way there, we were just kind of talking, and I learned about that he wants to start opening up a portfolio, doing like wholesales and flipping and things like that. So potential investor. And I actually get with Julie Moore. She helps me out sometimes, like because she's like my mentor kind of. So I do get a list of properties with like a certain percent of ROI and things like that. And I already emailed, like kind of showing him what it is, because he's also from New York. So a lot of people from New York, they want to invest into Florida and real estate here. So this past 4 or 5 days, we've been trying to kind of like meet up either for lunch. Today, hopefully we can meet like around 4 for drinks also, and so start talking, having that conversation of like what he needs to start doing to kind of get started.
That's awesome, man. So you helped. I mean, that's
so
a pretty big deal.
Helped him out, and like it went a long way. So
yeah,
I guess that's
sometimes when you do a good thing, man, it pays back 100-fold, man. That's awesome, man.
Well, until it does. I'm not gonna.
Well, still, I mean, look, you helped him out. That's good enough, right? But like, I think, yeah, he'll remember that, and he's gonna do some business with you. I can guarantee it. Guarantee
I
it.
try not. I don't call anything.
No. But it's I used to say that too. Like, I don't want to get too excited, but fuck it, let's get excited. Like, what the fuck? Life's too short. Be excited. It doesn't matter. It might work out, it might not. It might pan out. In a month or in a year. It doesn't matter. So good stuff.
Well, I guess last week my kids were on spring break, so I was a little like feeling not the greatest, just because I wasn't going to be.
Shit, I almost saw you hop in a lake. You must have been going crazy.
But so as we were having our spring break happening, the LO that I work with Home First, he was like working to get some of my buyers qualified, which was nice. He called me on Friday, the last day of our spring break, and he said, okay, Damaris is qualified and Mindy's qualified. so I just felt so great, and I was just like, I'm so happy that I made the decision that I made, because now I have the time to be with my children.
Yeah.
I'm not being able to have like a whole week off to be with them for a spring break and still like work my business and do something for my family.
That's freaking awesome.
So that was like the best thing and the best feelings. I was like, okay, great. Then we put the offer for the medicine. We got over, we didn't get it because people are crazy about offering over asking like 65K. So we lost it, but it's okay. We're gonna keep looking. But yeah, that's my blessing. Definitely being here, being in real estate, and having had that, taking the leap of faith of just like jump in and quit my job and everything I did to be here.
It's awesome.
Yep.
I love it.
Quick blessing is I've been MIA a little while. I don't know you two. So.
Well, he's not even on the TV yet. This is just. Yeah. Everybody, look what you started,
So
bro.
I've been a little MIA, but I'm happy to be back, and I'm gonna be pumping out a high call volume, and I'm gonna keep it like that.
Oh, I love it, man.
Yeah.
So what, is there any, anything flip the switch, or is just something?
I used to have a home office, and then I recently moved into a new home, and I don't got shit, just boxes. So I was like, fuck, man, I'm bored of being home, so I'm just gonna get up and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, I'm just kind of outlived that.
I love
part, and
it.
I'm ready to kind of like just dedicate myself.
And what did you tell me about the follow-up filter?
So I missed last meeting. I was watching it on YouTube, and what was his name? Matt
Matt Jones.
Matt was talking about the F filters, and I don't call F filters. I'm gonna call P filters. I didn't really pay attention to F filters, but F filters is follow up one. I called through about 50 of those, and I talked to probably 6 people, and 5 of them had already bought a house. So I'm seeing that there's an ass ton of opportunity in our pond, but we just have to, ass ton. We just gotta find it, right? And I set an appointment, so that's a blessing too, right?
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Awesome, man. Anybody? I think I'm pointing to you, Jason. Look, I'm what? Jason, you got something?
I definitely from the Cabo, I came out with another book to digest. So Thinking in Bets has been a pretty good one to consume. Taking some pretty big lessons from that. We all have bias, and it helps to illuminate those biases so that we're not doing looking at results and seeing if they're lucky. We never think it's luck when we get a good result, and that we always think it's bad luck when we get a bad result, but it could be the exact opposite. You could have all of the right things in place and get a bad result, or you can have all the right things in place and get a good result, or all the wrong things in and potentially get a good result just because of how things go. And they explain that using poker as the medium to help give light to all those insights. So it was pretty profound, because it's true. When you make a statement, oh, this is 100%, whatever, and then you're like, you want to make a bet, and then all of a sudden it's not 100%. You're like, well, maybe I won't put money on it.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So it helps you to really dial back and be a little more objective with what's actually going on. So trying to use that for some self-insight, because we can be critical of ourselves, but we do need to go look for the things that we're doing well, and
Right.
look and learn from that and be consistent and apply that, or with whatever is going wrong, figuring out why it's going wrong, what's not working, and learning from that so that you can change it. So it really helped to reinforce that. So that's been a blessing.
Yeah, that's kind of on that same vein of staying in the game, and I've been in that same place. I mean, you just get in that spot where you don't, I used to always say God's timing has a frustrating perfection. It never quite happens as fast as you want things to. It just never does. Not once in my life has it happened exactly as fast as I wanted it to, but it was the necessary speed, right? Like you had to go through the fire. like there's no other way but through, and so that's
Right.
all.
So like one of the things they were talking about is the people who are, they have these beliefs and they just go with it, and it could be like a losing belief, but they're not going to change it. So and then they think the results are, everything stacked against them, which is crazy. But we don't want to be that person, you know what I mean? So it is it's been eye-opening, trying to identify those things that are going on in my little world, and then trying to make sure that I'm not doing that so that I can continue to grow, because when you ignore them, that's you're eliminating opportunities for growth, period.
No, amen to that. Personal development, thinking in better. We're getting that book. That's one of my next book. I always have one on audio going, and I have like a physical one going at all times. Viviana, you want to chime in here?
Yeah, so I am
We miss you.
grateful. I miss you guys too. I'm grateful for the Tony Robbins experience. Even though this year I didn't go full, like all out like last year, but I realized a lot of things I guess I had forgotten. And one of the things he talked about, the 6 basic human needs, where he like makes you categorize, you do an exercise basically about the different needs and like how you do something that either empowers you or doesn't empower you. And that helps you realize what your top 2 have been. And one of them for me was significance, which I didn't realize is what I was doing. But basically I set goals for myself, and, some of them I achieve, some I don't. But even when I achieve them, I'm not happy because I'm always chasing more. And I guess I know Annie could probably chime in here because I know we kind of talked about it. I'm having a hard time explaining it, but it's just basically realizing. And also Helder, he asked me a question. He's 25 and I'm 30. And he's like, oh, where were you at when you were 25? And, I gave him a response, but it really got in my head. And I'm like, shit, I'm still doing some of the old patterns I was doing when I was 25. Like, so it's kind of like making me dig deep and just kind of, work on myself more. Cause I know I've just been going through a lot of things like mentally and working a lot. I've been flying a lot too. So like, I haven't really been all in here with the team, but yeah, I just wanted to say that I think that's a huge blessing. It's just like, I'm working on myself right now and very grateful to be with you guys as well. And yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's look, man, this thing never stops. I mean, the working on yourself is the way, right? Like it's like everything solves itself. Like it's never a tool, it's never a skill, it's never a mentor, it's never a coach. Like these all things can help you, but at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you but yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to get that a hold of, and that's just a tough thing to realize, that it's never going to be anybody's responsibility but yours. And you don't want it to be, because you don't want to give up that control. That's your superpower. Your superpower is your decisions. Right. And if you give your decisions over to somebody, you're just giving your power over to somebody. Right. If you decide that the reason you didn't make it was because of this or because of that or whatever the case, and it's something that outside of your control, then you're just giving away all your power. Right. And so, that's something that can never stop.
I actually listened to a TED talk on happiness, and the people who are always focused on the result are the people who always feel like there's something missing, because they are waiting for this one tiny event to happen. Right. It happens, and then they're like, holy shit, it's all over now. Like, where do I go?
Right.
You know what I mean? So they were saying essentially to shift that to, enjoying where you're at right now. And then when those achievements happen, you still enjoy it, but it's like a continuum instead of like a moment that passes. The only person that I hear, preaching that, from what I get exposed to right now is Gary Vee. He's always talking about, with all of his things that he's chasing, he enjoys the process, not the result. Like he doesn't care. He says he doesn't care if he wins or loses. It's literally the process. So he likes building things. He gets involved in all these different things. And I have a hard time not focusing on the result. And I think that's like a default or like a habit for a lot of us to
Yeah.
focus a lot on the result and maybe not so much on like, are we enjoying learning and doing well in what we're doing right now? And then the result will come, you know what I mean? So that is something that, you know, I struggle with as well.
Sure.
Something I found too that helps me is just like trying to do things that you love or making time for those things that you love to do, because it kind of helps you get back, you know, that joy, I would say. So one of my, I'm grateful because I made time today. I'm gonna go play beach volleyball and I'm super stoked. So
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't done that since last year and I used to go every week. I used to play once a week. So I'm really pumped
And
about
if you ever need somebody to fill in, you know, I'm an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I'm an athlete. What I'm trying to tell you. Oh yeah, because she saw, yeah. Annie saw me in Cabo. I was playing 0 games. Okay.
Zero. Just broke a nail and she fucked up.
Wait, did you guys play volleyball there?
What's that?
Did you guys play volleyball there?
We did. I played like one game. I had to go do something else, but they were like, oh, let's play some volleyball. So we played 4-on-4. Annie was a spectator. She was eating tacos. She was eating tacos and drinking, talking to some older couple and watching
Hey,
us.
that was a referral. They're from Wisconsin. Their agents from Wisconsin.
She was getting a deal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm going to Lake Geneva to see their like $30 million listing or some shit.
Make
like
sure you
that.
keep those kind of blessings to yourself.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Well,
No, I'm
that's
just
what
kidding.
I was doing.
Being
while
sarcastic.
You
You should have said shit like this.
That's what I was doing while you were dominating on the court.
Yeah, well, both wins, I think. I think those are both wins. Brandon, you want to close this out, man?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and close it out. Mine are completely personal. I started a new diet. If you guys don't know, I already eat fairly ridiculously healthy. But I stopped eating all like processed foods. I've gone, if you guys know who like Carnivore MD, Paul Saldino, or Liver King are, I'm eating strictly an animal-based diet with the addition of like fruit and honey. But that basically means I get to eat ribeye steaks almost every single meal. But I will honestly tell you, I've added in, and I've had to go to a million different places to find it, but I've added in like different animal organs, just for the nutrients and vitamins and stuff you get from them. I see your face. But honestly, I've never felt better, to be honest. Like, it's absurd how good I feel.
Oh.
I eat raw liver twice a day, beef heart.
Beef,
You eat them raw?
Beef heart, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't even cook it?
I feel amazing. Like, I literally feel amazing. My training has been great. So that's the second part of this is in preparation for my big race in July, my miles have started getting up. My running volume has started to continue to increase. I hired a new coach a couple weeks ago, and so my running volume is starting to get higher and higher, which was like nerve-wracking to start this, to be honest. As much as I do like run and do endurance stuff, the thought process of training for a 100-mile race means that your like weekly volume gets to about a consistent like 100 to 130 miles of running for the week. I'm not there yet, but I just put 2 back-to-back 80-mile weeks in, and my body has responded really well. So I'm really, really happy with that. I'm not gonna lie, my legs do feel fatigued and tired every day, but to average more than 10 miles a day has been really good. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Dude,
So typically what people do is like they'll have like a Wednesday or Tuesday.
I think we got another athlete over here, Brandon.
Yeah, I used to do cross country and track a lot of hours a day.
Oh,
Happy with my 2 miles that I just
that's
did.
awesome, Brandon.
That's a lot.
So I wanted to so awesome blessing. This is awesome blessing session. We got to do these in person because these blessing sessions are getting incredible. You know, yesterday I was talking to Yandel, and Yandel says, you know, you want to tell me your story, Yandel?
Yeah, so funny enough, Marissa gave me a lead. It was a paper with a lead's name that came in and a number. I was like one of the only ones in the office, and it turned out the number she gave me was actually Gil's number, and it wasn't the actual lead's number. So I called and it went to voicemail. Gil's always busy, so it said, "Hey, this is Gil Ramos." I was like, "Marissa, you gave me Gil's number." And she was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And then she gave me the new number. So Gil texted me, "I'll call you right back." I didn't think nothing of it because he's always so busy. And then he calls me like 4 hours later, and we were just laughing about it. And as soon as he's done laughing, he said, "How many days are left in the month?" And I was like, 9. And he was like, okay, well, out of 3 people, who's the closest you have to getting on a contract? So I named the person, and he was like, okay, but do you have an appointment with her? I was like, he said an appointment tomorrow. I said, no. He was like, what about this week? I was like, actually, I don't. He said, okay, then you're not close to getting under contract. So then he was like, so this is what I need you to do. He said, by 5 p.m. today, I need you to send me a picture of your schedule and all the appointments you make from now until 5, put them in green, and then send me a screenshot. And I was like, all right, girl, I got you. But what happened is I actually scheduled 3 appointments. And after I realized, like, is what they preach to us all the time, is it was just like a shift of me just calling to make an appointment. Like, and I mean, we all know how Gil is. So I was so like tempted to make an appointment. I was like, I'm not gonna send this guy an empty schedule. Like, I'm not gonna let him know that I didn't make an appointment. So I made 3 and I sent it to him. You know, he said like, good job. He was proud that, you know, I put in the work and stuff. But after I just realized simply that I was like, that really wasn't that hard. You know, I just called to make an appointment. I just text people to make an appointment. Like I followed up with like 30 people that I talked to before, and then I ended up with the appointment. It was just off of one day, you know what I mean? So, but it was just funny how Marissa, a messed up lead, turned into Gil having me send him a picture of my schedule with appointments on me.
So what do you think changed? Like, you know, how did, you know, because then I asked Annie, was like listening to the story. I was like, Annie, you made 3 appointments in a day? She's like, no, I've never made 3 appointments in a day. And I'm like, so, you know, what changed in the, like, were the appointments that you made from people you had already contacted, or new people that you called?
It was people that I had already contacted before, but usually, like, I think one of the main L's in my business is like my follow-up system. So really it was just me following up with the people that I already been in contact with, you know, and just saying the right thing instead of just, you know, I usually just say, hey, how you doing? And some people won't respond, but like I literally sent them a message and said, hey, listen, like, I think we need to, you know, let me take you out for coffee, or we can get on a Zoom. And then I just gave them some value, and I told them like, this is what's happening in the market right now, blah, blah, blah. And then one person called me. She said she was going to call me. I scheduled an appointment for the rental guy, the Habibi guy that we all know about. And then another lady, I have a Zoom call with her tomorrow. So what changed was just, like I said, the mindset. Like I think I call for value, like, oh, if I make 75 calls, I'll feel accomplished today. But really it was like, that doesn't matter if I don't get an appointment, if I don't get a conversation. Like, you know, 75 calls look good, but if I have 0 pendings after 75 calls, then what was the point?
Yeah. And it made me realize, like, really what we need is appointment accountability. You know, like the reason he did that is he didn't want to show Gil a shit sketch. Like he was like, yo, I can't come back to Gil without making a motherfucking appointment, right? Yeah. And so then 3 appointments popped up, right? And that's a mentality. It was just a shift in mentality. Nothing had changed besides, you know, he had those leads in there. And it made me start thinking about when I was working for a marketing branding agency, and this guy was total jerk. But he was my boss technically. So, and he's like, hey, every day I want a daily sales report. Right. And I had to write down everybody who I called, all the notes for everybody that I had called. And I was, you know, selling products like you are, right? I was selling marketing branding products. But what I realized, I used to hate it because I used to be dead tired. Like at night, I was exhausted. And I'm like, dude, I still got to get this guy this fucking report, you know? But what it made me do is kind of review my day. I had an accountability system. I knew I couldn't send him a report that didn't have the calls made. And then I would review that. And then I would know, hey, I got to call these people tomorrow, right? Like these are the people I got to follow up with tomorrow. And I realized I was like, that's the reason I did really well, right? It's because, you know, everybody's shitty at follow. Almost, I rarely meet somebody that says, I am the best at following. Like, but it's the one skill that will make you the money, because this is not a one-touch system. You know, this is a 7-touch system, you know, pretty much a 7-touch system. It's really what it is, you know, so you always got to be following up. So, you know, I think that we need to refocus on, like, we need to decide as a team, like, hey, you know, what's their standard? You know, what's our standard for appointments per week? You know, what, because I mean, my thoughts, and you guys can chime in on this, but, you know, if we're going to be $100 million team, I think you got to be thinking an appointment a day. I mean, I think 5 appointments a week has to be a standard. Now, can you get away with less appointments? Yes, but we can't risk it if we're going to be $100 million team. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, we have to come in and be always talking about appointments, you know, because that's the progress part, right? It's not about the deals are going to close, but if you don't have the appointments, you're dead in the water, right? So do you guys have any thoughts on that as to, you know, because I know you guys kind of talk amongst each other. You guys are accountability partners with each other. you know, what do you guys want to do? You want to set a standard? Do we want to do a daily thing where you're like having to say, hey, look, here's what I did. I mean, I definitely want you guys on the Facebook Messenger to be talking about this, right? So like, if something goes pending, you need to put it up. If you make an appointment, let the team know, right? So that everybody's like, just a reminder, like, hey, I got to get on this, right? But any thoughts on that?
I think it's perfect. I think we also need to, as a team, redefine what we all want to focus on rather than the calls. That was very entry level team, you know, just get your calls up. Now, what we place importance on as a team, come to agreement on appointments.
Right.
So I've changed. I had a realization when one day I just said, okay, I'm just going to set appointments. So I called. I said the first line of the script, and then I said, hey, it's Devin from the home search site. So you're looking at in homes in Orlando. I was calling to see if you want to set an appointment to get some real value from a professional. You know, could you make an appointment either tomorrow or sometime later this week? What time? And that's all I said to every one single person. I actually got an appointment.
Right.
No value, no talking, no nothing, just straight call to set an appointment. And so that shifted. That was my shift on that. And then this week I did a bunch of appointments, do construction, met coffee in Ocoee with a lady, things like that. Now I have to protect my time. My appointments can't be 45 minutes. So now because like I said, an appointment that I would get 3 in a day. So now I had to put a limit on my appointments to actually fit more. And so like as a team, what do we want to place value on that's true other than the calls? The calls can't
No, the calls were never the deal. I mean, we call it a meet, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just when you start off, you got to make enough calls to get good at making calls. But, you know, like, Corinne will tell you she makes 30 to 50 calls a day, but she comes in with the right attitude, right? So the main thing is, I think we got to talk about like, hey, when you're making calls, what you say, like, hey, I'm going to make some calls. Like you came in with an attitude about making the call. Right, a different one. You're like,
And
hey.
it was honestly my word too that changed, because before I would say I need to make calls. And working with Jamie too, Jamie always says you shouldn't say I have to do this, I need to do this, it's I get to do this.
Right.
So that day that I woke up and made the 12 calls and got 6 people to answer, I didn't wake up and say I need to make calls. I woke up and said I want to make calls.
Right.
So I'm even changing some of the things that I'm saying to myself. Like I'll wake up. Yesterday, I did not want to run. I did not want to run at all. But my best friend was like, yeah, you should do it. And I was like, I do kind of want to do it.
Right.
I ran 2 miles and I felt really, really good. And I woke up at 5 o'clock today. I'm exhausted, but I did it again. So it's like that shift again in your mindset and the words that you're actually saying to yourself that I think is a huge thing.
Huge. And by the way, I freaking love the fact that everybody's like diving into personal development is the foundation. Like it is the way. There's no way around it, guys. I've been coaching agents now for years now. I've been coaching my damn self, right? I coach myself every day. And I'm telling you, like I keep saying, I eat personal development for breakfast. Like it's an absolute fucking must, because everything you guys have said today is all personal development based, has not been skill based, has been anything. It's just pretty much what am I saying to myself? And you went Tony Robbins for like just a little bit, just to kind of, and something shifted, right? You went to college, something shifted, right? Viviana went back, something shifted. And one of the best things that Tony Robbins talks about is if you want to make a breakthrough, there's only 3 kind of pillars. Number 1, you got to change your physiology, right? Your body. Your body is very important. The way you stand, working out, you don't think like I got excited when you said that. You're like, oh, I don't really have a blessing. No, that is a blessing, because if you start that, it translates into everything else. Right. That's a discipline. That's a consistency. That is a caring about your physiology. When you feel better, you feel more confident. When you're feeling good about you, you're more confident, which means it translates to your calls. It translates to your business. That's part of the game, right? Like I work on this, like I can tell you, like I have the best days when I wake up early.
Yeah. I
have the best days when I wake up early. Like, like I woke up early this morning. I got way more done than I could have imagined by 9 a.m. And then was just like, damn, man, I'm already running, right? Like I'm already running early. Like, I had my workout done. I already had a call with Gil. I had things going on. I knew what my schedule was for the day. I was rocking, so these are all things. So physiology is number 1. Number 2 is your focus. What are you focusing on? Are we focusing on all the bad shit? Or are we focusing on all the blessings and the good stuff? Now, why did we start with blessings? Your boy probably sat here and was like, what kind of meeting is this? Focus on blessings for a reason, right? Because you saw everybody's issue today was we're not focusing on blessings. We're not focusing on the gain. We're not focusing on this. So it brings the right energy to this. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what you don't have? Or are you focusing on what you got? Right. And which side do you want to be on? So if you get your physiology right, you look good, you feel good, you're focusing on all the right things, on all the blessings and all things you get to do instead of have to do. Right. And then the last thing is what you were mentioning, which is language, physiology, focus, and language. This is the triad. Right. So what's coming out of your mouth? That's one of the most destructive things. Your language has so much power. The things that come out of your mouth have so much power. It says it in the Bible. I mean, like it's nothing new, but you don't realize it. To one shift from I have to I want to, literally the universe shifts for you. 12 calls, 50% pickup. That's honestly, that's kind of unheard of. But one shift in a word and one shift in an attitude could change those things. So those are like super, super important. So coming into these calls with the right attitude, and let's shift everything about appointments, right? Like, let's just say to ourselves, like, look, he got 3 in a day. What's 5 in a week, right? That's 1 a day, and Corinne, like I said, Corinne does the same thing. I make 30, 50 calls, but I make an appointment, I'll go handle some other stuff. Right? If you want to make more than 1 appointment a day, you want to stack your chips, do 3 in a day. So you got 2 left for the rest of the 4 days of the week. Great. But once you get into that rhythm, oh my gosh, it's over. But it starts with the attitude that you come in with the calls. So I'll ask you guys the same thing. We got 9 days left. Who are you talking to that's the most likely to convert? I know you already got somebody on the contract.
Yeah, probably, it was a referral from a friend. This guy, he's here. He's gonna be going back to Canada at the end of the week, or March 25th.
Mhm.
So we're working on trying to find him an investment property.
Okay.
So I think he's the most likely, because he's willing to pay cash as well.
Okay.
And
So when are you showing them properties?
that I don't know. Like they said, I had to set up a showing, because I've been just sending him properties, and we've been talking today about it. And he's been asking me questions, but I need to set up a time to like go look at
exactly.
something I'll do today.
Yeah. So this is where you'll make the mistake. You just like send people properties and hope good things happen. That's not this. All that happened with Yandel was he had people ready. He needed to get them off the fence. And he knew he had to get them off the fence before 5 because he had to show up to Gil. Right. So stop kind of just like, oh, it'll happen when it happens. Like, you dictate when it happens. Right. And by the way, time kills all deals. Interest rates are going up. Prices are going up. We cannot wait. There has to be a sense of urgency when you're talking to people right now. I'm telling you. And I want to talk to you guys about sellers. Let's focus on getting listings, right? Because right now, what's happening is that they don't know yet, but there's this whole group of people who waited, right? And don't get me wrong, you guys are still fighting deals, but that shit's going to change, man. 1 more 0.5% jump and you're not going to be competing like you're competing right now. So don't worry, the buyers is going to get easier. And we're going to continue to talk about how to make stronger offers. All you guys are calling agents prior to making offers, right? Right. So you're calling agents, you're having a good conversation about what it's going to take to win. What's the most important things to the seller? What can we do to make this, whatever? And I hope you guys are always sending your offers with a bomb.
Oh, I don't.
Must send an offer with a bomb. Do you have it?
don't
Did
have
I get you bomb?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll make sure you have it. I'm gonna tell you right.
You're speaking another language.
Bomb is just a video, an email. It's a video service where you can text and email video. So when you open up the email, you see my face and you see a GIF of me kind of for the first 3 seconds of my video, and then they just click on it and I just talk personally to them right through the email, right? And so when I send an offer in, so I just did this the other day. I have an investor guy that the property went pending before we could get to it. But, I spoke to the agent anyway. Hey, I see that she just went pending. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I got about 18 other people want to put backup offers. I'm sure you got a great property. I can understand that. I was like, she's like, well, you got to put it in writing. I'm like, no problem. We'll put that in writing. And then I talked to my investor and I said, hey, get me a proof of funds. And then he gets me some little like crappy screenshot. I'm like, no, bro. I said, you got to get me some shit with like your name on it. Like, none of this, because I got to I'm like, if we're fighting, we're already behind the 8 ball. We might not ever get this deal, but we're not missing our first impression. Mm-hmm. The first impression you make with an agent makes a huge, huge, huge difference, because when they think about the backup, when deals fall through all the time, and when they fall through, who are they going to remember? That's what you got to be thinking about, right? They're going to be thinking about who do I want to work with? Who's the sharpest agent? Who is the one who's the most put together? And who did I have the best rapport with, right? So I spoke to her and I was like, oh man, you got a great property, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, if you're going to submit a backup, it has to be in writing. I was like, oh, 100, would never submit something without it being in writing, no problem. And so when he sent me that proof of funds, I like called him back. I could tell he got offended because I was like, hey man, I asked him for the proof of funds, which a lot of investors will feel like you're asking them if they got the money. I'm like, dude, I had same thing. I was in the car, I bombed him. I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, I didn't ask you for this because I didn't think you had money. I'm asking you this because I'm trying to win this deal for you. And I want to make sure that they know that you got it, right? And I'm like, and by the way, what you sent me was, I was like, it didn't have your name fully on it. I know it sounds nitpicky, but I'd rather have a statement, like a bank statement, something legit, because I want to send that in. So he sent me that over, and then I sent her a bomb. Emailed me back. She responded to my bomb saying, what a cool way to present your offer to me, because I also wanted to express something to her, because you got these, whenever you're behind the 8 ball, you want to put your best foot forward. And I needed her to understand a couple of things. And I was actually thinking about sending it over to her. I'm like, no, I got to send her a bomb. So I was able to explain to her, I'm like, hey, by the way, this guy that I'm working with is a guy I've worked with before. I'm like, he just bought another property with me last year. He does very, very well. And I have a relationship with him. It's not just some guy. Right. So I had to tell her that so that she would understand. And I told her, hey, fine, attached to full price offer, it's cash. I hope your deal doesn't fall. I was like trying to be fun. I hope your deal doesn't fall through, but if it does, I'd love, and that's the kind of shit people remember. So just, you got to make sure when you're going after these multiple offer situations like that you're putting your best foot forward. You're always calling the agent, you're submitting something, and it's not always price. Like you were competing only on price. Somebody here, I think, had a deal where they were letting them stay in the property. Right.
Yeah,
free lease back. So, hey, by chance, does your seller need more extra? Or you helped her out with that? Is that what you're saying? Oh,
That was the only one I haven't helped her.
She's like, sometimes the seller needs to stay for a while, right? They can't leave the house right when they close. So, hey, by any chance, is there anything else the seller would want that, aside from price? Say, look, we're still going to, unless you're waiving the entire appraisal contingency, right, then the appraisal is going to be an issue. So sometimes, you can compete as much as you want on price, but an appraisal is going to knock you back down, right? So what else is there? Hey, can we pay for their closing costs as well? Is a little shorter inspection. What is it? Bigger deposit? What do they need? Is there anything that we could do to just make this a better deal for them? And sometimes, you could take, I wouldn't necessarily do this much, but I just had one of our agents who's trying to buy the house that she lives in, and the seller is going straight to her. It's an off-market deal, right? And so he dictated the number that she wanted. She's not going to charge him any commission. And she's like, well, he wants to offer me this, and that. And she's like, and he wants 0 inspection period. And and then the next thing she said was, she's like, I know somebody's going to give him that though. I said, then there's your answer. Do you want this property? She's been living in the property. So for the most part, you can feel somewhat safe that the condition of the property, right? Like, so fuck it. Waive the inspection period, get the deal. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be willing to play those games and be first. That's another thing too.
Oh, that's huge.
Be first. I always give credence to somebody who submitted the offer first. To me, they were the first one in line. They were the ones that are showing the most intent. And, in competitive situations, I don't nitpick. I try to be the friendliest, easy to work realtor that I can be out there. So just keep that in mind as far as buyers are concerned. Do you have a charger, by the way, Devin?
Yes, in my car.
In your
A laptop charger?
a Mac charger? I got one in the other room.
I have mine.
You have, this is a Mac?
Yeah.
Okay. It's already plugged in?
I can plug it in.
It's about to get real right now. We're on 5%. The other thing I want to tell you is, I was looking through the leads in there, you can filter out for these seller leads. I think you guys should be really rocking these seller leads, right? Because we're at a very crazy time where there's a lot of people that waited, and a lot of things are going to happen. All these people think that it's going to be like this forever. It's not, and right now, sellers have a ton of equity in their home, right? They're at the top of a market cycle, right? And you know, if there's an increase in rates, it could really flatten out. Maybe there's a correction, maybe not. But what's going to happen is remember, if they were thinking about selling it all because they wanted to put that money into a new house, remember that as interest rates go up, they're going to be hurt, right? Because they have to buy a house, right? Unless they buy it all cash, they're going to have to finance too, right? So start asking them questions. Say, you know, ask them. Say, you know, out of curiosity, why, you know, obviously, why did you think? Oh, you know, we're not really ready. We're just like looking at that. Ask them why. Ask them what's important to them. Hey, what do you think prices are going to be in the next? Oh, I want to wait a few years. Well, what do you think the prices are going to be in the next couple of years? Oh, you think it'll be how? Well, what do you think interest rates are going to be? Right? Where could you put that money now? Right, to work now, because you make your money when you buy a home, not when you sell the home, right? So you're right now at the top of a market cycle. You know, it's like waiting to cash in, and you know, you could be that guy that rolls the dice one more time at the poker table when you're up, but you could lose your whole stack, right? You know, do they want to buy an investment property? Hey, let's take advantage of the equity that you have right now and let's pull some cash out of the property. Okay. Hey, you have the most equity you've ever had right now. Are you looking to buy an investment property? Maybe you could buy your other property with the equity that you pulled out of that property. Maybe you keep this one, or you maybe whatever the case may be, but start talking about the fact that things are going to change, right? Like we don't stay at the top of a market cycle. It's been a 10-year run. There's usually a cycle every 8, right? So they're at or near the top, and that's where you want to be. When you're already at the top of a market cycle, you're too late. Now you're starting to come back down on the market cycle. Right. So when you're talking to these sellers right now, and you guys are obviously fighting over all these buyers, which that all is going to change. Right. And you're going to convert more as you get better at submitting offers. As you set more appointments, you get more at bats. Those buyers still want to buy. You're going to find them something. And like Gil says, you might want to shop for them on the clearance rack, right? Instead of trying to get them, or new construction. With new construction, you're going to have a lot of opportunities. I'm actually going to set something up. I think the first week in April, I'm gonna try to get us to this Pulte Homes. Is it Pulte? Did you guys get that email I sent out? Yeah, I want to go to that neighborhood. So I'm gonna set something up for us to go. You know, Ben Berry on Team Great has about $200,000 in commissions ready to go on new construction homes. You're not competing, you're just, you know, at the end of the day, they've got homes to sell. That's a place where you go, but you could also go to the clearance rack. What's the clearance rack? Well, maybe some properties that have been on the market for a little bit. Maybe you're trying to compete in this one price range. Maybe we need to go look at some of the ones that might need a little bit of work. Save that money you would have spent on making up that appraisal difference, and use that money for the build out, right? For the renovation. You know, so I know Jason, you've got a good contractor, right? Okay. So, you know, if you guys got a good contract and stuff like that, like have these tools set up and say, hey, look, here's what I think we should do. All right. I found a couple properties in the area that have been on the market, you know, over 30 days, which means we have a lot more leeway. That means that we don't have the competition. Those properties need a little bit more work. They need updating. Maybe it needs a new roof, but you were going to pay $30,000 over asking, plus you were going to make up any difference that there wasn't the appraisal. Why don't we use that money with a trusted contractor and make that home into your home, right? That's where the deals are at, right? So new construction, things that have been on the market for a while, things that need fix up, you know, maybe that wholesale list, maybe get with Julie Marr and be like, yo, you got some stuff that's off the market. Let's get one of these and help you fix it up, right? So just start thinking creatively about that. But I want you guys definitely attacking those seller leads, get yourself a few more listings to kind of insulate yourself during this time when there's still that competition. But that'll all settle into place. All right, so we're gonna set up the builder thing. Are we set on our
I just have to call them and just confirm it, but I'm still getting.
That's supposed to be on the 30th?
31st.
31st. Okay, so just FYI, Annie, our social director, Annie, is setting up a bowling event on the 31st. We're just getting all the details with Home First. April 12th through the 14th is Commissions Inc. University. Currently, I have Omar and John, Lana, Bibi, and Raquel coming to Commissions Inc. University.
I'm not sure. I have to double check still. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'll double
Because of
check
like school and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's who I have right now.
Can I go in her place?
So it's
Um,
close to the 14th.
Homes in Tampa, or where's that one?
yeah, that's in Tampa, St. Pete. Yeah, Tampa, St. Pete. Yeah.
I might be able to.
This time, yeah.
Is Gil and you, like, Gil and you will be there?
I'll definitely be there. Gil, I believe will be, I'm about 80% sure he's gonna be there. You know how it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, I don't want to go 100% just quite yet. But, and then, you know, if we still have some room over there, maybe you'll put a couple Team Create people in the Airbnb. But that's pretty much it. Is there anything else that you guys want to go over? It's 3:06.
Are we doing the meetings in person now?
What's that?
Are all the meetings gonna be in person now, or
Oh,
I didn't know this was,
Most people said that they prefer to do it in person.
yeah, most people said that they would prefer to do it in person, unless I'm somehow, you know, out of town or something. I have no problem. I like in person, so, you know, I think I have.
yeah, I was just wondering, because I didn't know that this week, I would have gone if I would have known that.
Oh, yeah, no worries. You've been kind of out of commission for a little bit, but yeah, this was kind of a new thing. I think we did it last week and then we liked it. So yeah, we're gonna continue doing this, but still
Okay.
having the option open for Zoom. This works fine as long as you guys are cool with it. The people that can't make the meeting live, we'll get them on here. But I think we get a lot out of it.
Could we do like, I don't know how everyone feels about it, but you at one point were doing one-on-ones with all of us and you had that like worksheet
Mhm.
that you had us fill out with
Mhm.
you. Could maybe like our next meeting or one of our meetings, we kind of all do that together and then hold ourselves or each other accountable. So we're doing it as a team, we're giving each other ideas, and then we're also holding each other accountable in our group.
Actually, let's see if this is a great idea. Let's see if yeah, right. Don't worry, I have a special notebook for each meeting. I'm gonna ask Gil. Gil does such a great one, man. I'm gonna see if he's willing to do one, but if not,
Goal setting, I think his class is, yeah.
thank you for a minute. Okay, so April 4th, you said April 4th is this?
Something like, it's like first
I can
day of April,
look.
I think, or
There's an
something.
online calendar.
And I invited
I don't have signal, but.
All right, because I think we should do that. I think I'd like to make that the meeting. Because that's strong. Let's see, April.
April 4th, second quarter goal setting event with Gil.
What time?
That's at
12.
that's at
12 to
noon.
2.
Okay. So I'll add you all to that. I think we should make that the meeting that week, but actually, I think it was April the 5th. I was gonna try to set up for the builder. So maybe we do the goal session on Monday and we go see the builder on Tuesday. So let's put April 5th.
Oh, we could do calls and coffee with Corinne.
That'll be a monster day right there.
And then after that, we set goals for quarter 2.
That's strong.
Is the
Where'd you go?
bowling day, is that March or April?
March.
March.
Okay.
First, April 5th for builder. And then I was gonna ask you guys, so I had some interest from you guys in what Celebration is doing with crypto and what you can do. It happens to be that their crypto Zoom class is during our meeting on the 29th next week. Would you guys be open to making that the Davos team? Because I really think that's a new thing that we all need to get on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll do crypto on the 29th.
You literally can buy a house by a push of a button, because you can do inspections ahead of time, you can title ahead of time.
And it's going to help you get listings.
I saw a house listed for crypto for the first time.
Yep.
I was like, holy shit.
It's happening. It's happening. We're going to stay on top of it. We're going to be crypto millionaires, all of us.
You can get commission in crypto then at that point, right? Can they pay out their commission in crypto?
Probably.
Yeah, that's
Probably could. I mean, I don't see why.
Stock and crypto all.
If they can get their money in crypto, we can get our commission in crypto. Well, let's see. Well, no. Well, yeah, our personal one, yes.
They were asking.
Yeah, not
In
EXP.
USD, it was like 3 million, and it was like 1,000. I don't know, Ephraim maybe.
Was it in Orlando?
Yeah, it was a luxury listing.
Yeah.
Wait,
they
is
had
it,
they
is
had
gonna be, the commissions are gonna be like in tethers or like?
No fucking clue.
Okay, not.
I'll just be like,
God damn it, Justin.
They had that broker something.
Did they?
All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you next week. We got crypto next week. And then we got a powerhouse week after that. Y'all take care. Appreciate you. If you need me, let me know.